Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome or welcome back to the Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am an empath as well as an intuitive tarot reader, and I'm so happy to welcome you to my channel. So we are going to be doing this super cool reading for like the messages of the moon or messages from the moon. So what does the moon want you to know right now? So I'm gonna just quickly explain the background story for this reading, why I was called to do this. And if you don't want to listen to all of that, you can just skip down to the pile selection part and go on from there. So you can find all the timestamps listed in the description box and in the comment section down below. So the reason I felt called to do this was basically two reasons. First of all, I've always felt a super strong connection to the moon, which is a very, very, I have a very specific connection to the moon. So I just felt like doing something like this would be kind of interesting to see how that turns out. But also we just recently had a super powerful full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And we are still very much in that eclipse energy, which is going to be with us for quite some time. And because it kind of launched this new eclipse season, we will be seeing more eclipses coming up soon as well. So it's all very, very exciting, but it's also very, very intense. And if you're watching this reading right after I've kind of published it, or in that sort of time frame, then this will be even more intense and even more powerful for you. But again, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to watch it, it's absolutely okay and it can still apply to you. But yeah, we're going to be doing a more free flow reading this time, meaning that we will have a look and see what the moon wants to talk to you about, and then depending on which which deck you choose, I will be shuffling the cards on camera, and we will be seeing together what the moon wants you to know at this time. And then we're going to close the reading out with some oracle cards to kind of show you last pieces of advice from the moon. So this is going to be a very interesting, hopefully also very powerful and very helpful reading, especially when it comes to your emotional landscape, because that's what the moon is all about. So we are going to be seeing how you can more easily navigate your emotional spheres right now, how you can deal with your emotions in the best way right now. But yeah, that's the intro part. So now we can just quickly look at the piles, and then you can jump to your reading. So for pile number 1, we have the Deviant Moon Tarot deck. For pile number 2, we have the Tarot of the Divine, and for pile number 3, we have the Moonchild Tarot. So all of these tarot decks are also very lunar themed, as you can see from the design as well, and very much tied to the divine and the kind of this goddess energy that is very often associated with the moon. So these are the piles that you get to choose from. If you want to watch more than one pile, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. You can watch as many as you like, but it just tends to be the case that only one pile like resonates the most or the strongest for you. At least that's my own personal experience. But yeah, I will leave it up to you and up to your discretion. So you do you. But whenever you're ready, when you feel that you know which pile you are drawn to, you can go again down into the description box or the comment section and click on the timestamp that you need. So yeah, happy choosing, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. You guys chose the Deviant Moon Tarot, which you can see over here, and it is waiting for its turn, so to speak. Because we're going to be starting off with some moon-themed oracle cards first to give us an understanding of the subject or the theme that the moon more specifically wants to talk to you about. So yeah, super excited to get into this reading and see what comes out of it. But yeah, this is still a general reading, okay? So please take the messages as they resonate. If they don't, that's fine as well. You can go ahead and pick another pile, or if none of the piles resonate, then maybe it's just not your message this time, okay? But let's see, what does the moon want to talk to you about? Okay, we're starting off with the full moon in Taurus. Oh, which is kind of what we had. Your dreams need a practical plan. Okay. We also have balance. We have will. And we have waxing moon with the energy is gaining momentum. I'm getting the sense that what the moon really wants to talk to you about more specifically today is some sort of a personal project of yours, or some sort of an aspiration that you have that you seem to be really desiring, really yearning for, and really wanting to accomplish. And now, it's kind of a universal thing. We all have something that we are working towards. We all have something that we want to have in our lives. But there is often the question of, like, what are we actually doing to get that sort of dream or goal that we have? And are we really, like, putting in energy, effort, and action to get it? Or is it just like a pipe dream? Is it just something that we are fantasizing and daydreaming about as we are putting our energy into something else entirely that maybe isn't necessarily taking us closer to that dream that we are fantasizing about? So I kind of see the moon calling you out a bit, if that's the correct way to say it, because I see that the desire within you is really big to achieve this thing. Now, it could be some kind of a career achievement, some sort of a milestone that you want to accomplish in your work, in your craft, in your business, anything like that. It could be like a creative thing for you, or it could be like what kind of home you want to live in, or what your dream like living space, or your dream like city or country, or like neighborhood would be. It could be talking about the kind of relationship that you want to be in, or the kind of partner that you want to have by your side. Or it could be talking about all of those things. It could be a mixture of all of those different areas of life that you want to get to. And so I feel like the moon is trying to turn your attention towards starting to maybe take some more practical steps, take some more tangible measures that would get you closer to that dream of yours. Because I do see that there is a lot of like support that is kind of conducive to that growth, that is conducive to you getting closer to that dream. But I do see that there is also the need for you to balance these two areas where yes, you want something, but then just like wanting it, just desiring it is not enough. Like, there has to be this equal balance of actually taking steps toward it as well. Just like this card says, your dreams need a practical plan, right? So how can you get to that goal or these dreams that you have? What can you do? What are the little steps that you can take? And it doesn't have to be anything like massive and anything super earth-shattering that you just have to like radically change your life or radically change the course that you are going down right now. But I do feel like it's just getting that clarity in place first and foremost, because I'm kind of looking at this image here and I see this massive cloud that is basically just taking up all of the space of this woman's head, and so it almost feels like there is this whole mess that is happening in her head and on her mental level. Like it's all confusion, it's all muddled, it's all mixed up, and there's not that much clarity to it. But I do see that the will, that this desire, that this yearning that you have is very strong. And especially because you also got the Taurus card here, which is also a very headstrong energy, a very determined energy. So I kind of see that the moon is saying that you are being supported in this. The energies around you are kind of pushing you and helping you along, but you kind of have to start taking some practical steps, putting some sort of more tangible plan in place. Or at least the first step, I feel like, could be putting a very concrete mental picture in place for you, a kind of a vision board, if you like, where you can kind of see very clearly and in a very focused manner what it is that you specifically want. Like just starting to visualize the actual way that the dream house of yours looks, or the way that you would I don't know, what you would put around the garden, or how you would decorate it, or you know, what sort of what would you do in that house if you had that dream house of yours? Just using that house as an example, even though, as I said, it doesn't have to be this material thing necessarily, but whatever this dream of yours is, I feel like what the moon is kind of urging you to start focusing more on is getting that sort of clarity and getting that sort of structure in place that would help you to start creating this plan, this strategy to what can you do every day, or at least every week, even if it's something small, but just what sort of baby steps can you take to get yourself closer to those dreams, to those aspirations. Okay, so I feel like that's the main theme that the moon wants to talk to you about. But let's see what more specific messages we can get from the Deviant Moon Tarot that you chose. So let's see. Dear Moon, what do you want pile 1 to know more specifically? What is it that you want pile 1 to know at this time? Okay, we have the 6 of Cups and we have the Emperor. So with the 6 of Cups, the first thing I actually want to say, because I feel like what the moon is urging you to focus on is the thing that makes you feel good. I feel like there's a very strong emotional component that is needed as part of this manifestation or this goal that you're working towards. I feel like there needs to be a very strong emotional reminder there that would be present for you, which is why I feel like that vision board that I was mentioning could be super useful to you, because that way you would have that sort of mental reminder in front of your eyes every single day, and you would have that sort of emotional connection to it. And if whenever we have an emotional connection to something, there is a bigger drive within us to actually get it, to actually work towards it. And I also feel like the Six of Cups is talking about something that kind of talks to your inner child, something that talks to the most innocent, the most optimistic and imaginative part of your, like, part of you. That part that like dreams really, really big, and that kind of believes in fairy tales is almost what I want to say. Yeah, and especially with the Emperor in reverse here as well, I feel like what the moon is saying is to not necessarily restrict yourself or limit yourself too much. I feel like with this waxing moon card here as well, I feel like the moon is saying that you can actually have more than you realize, or you could actually achieve even bigger and more fulfilling, more abundant things than you are maybe initially like dreaming of, that you're maybe dreaming of right now. So I feel like the moon is urging you to kind of maybe be even more expansive and really tune into, as I said, that inner child of yours that is like that has like this imagination that is literally limitless. So I feel like the focus should be on like the thing that like truly lights you up to your innermost core, the thing that gets you the most excited about life, the thing that gets you the most excited about the future, and really get that as your sort of focal point. But let's see, what else do you want pile 1 to know? Okay, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So I feel like what the moon is saying here with this Knight of Wands in reverse is that it's very important to have like perseverance and persistence, especially with this Taurus energy that I was talking about before, because the Knight of Wands can be a bit of a flaky energy, and so I feel like what the moon is really sort of pushing here, or wanting to remind you of here, is that like getting to a certain result or getting to a certain finish line or goal does require steadfastness, does require like methodical movement that is constant, that is repetitive, that is committed, right? So yeah, it's like if you desire something, but if you like give up on it as soon as an obstacle or some sort of challenge comes up for you, then you're just not going to get to where you want to go. And I feel like that's something that the moon is like kind of reminding you of here too, is to try to stay as committed as possible. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why this emotional component, and especially the inner child aspect that I was talking about before, is so crucial. Because if your goal, or if your like the dream that you're working towards is tied to the deepest, the most authentic, the most sincere and heartfelt part of you, then no matter what obstacles are put on your path, it's not going to sway you, it's not going to deter you from getting to that ultimate goal. You're just going to keep on, like, you know, standing up again and dusting yourself off and trying something new, trying something different, or just finding another way to get to where you want to go. But it's just that energy of like constantly keeping the momentum going and constantly moving towards it, not giving up on it, especially if things get tough. And I'm kind of seeing it with this 5 of coins here as well, that if you are tested, I feel like the moon is saying that it's going to be very important for you to keep going despite those challenges, and to keep pushing yourself forward and stay committed to that ultimate dream. Okay, what else? What else do you have for pile number 1? Ooh. We have the 10 of Swords Yeah, so what I kind of feel like over here is, I kind of feel with this Ten of Swords that the moon is also saying that there may be some sort of sacrifices that may need to be made, or that you may have to make in order to get to where you want to go. So there could be some things, especially that I'm feeling with this, that I was talking about, this confusion aspect, where there could be a lot of things that are going on for you, especially in the sort of the mental sphere. But I'm also kind of getting the sense that it could be in your like day-to-day routine, or amongst your obligations and your responsibilities. And maybe there are some things that are taking up a bit too much of your space, or that are preventing you from putting in as much energy and as much time as you would maybe like to those dreams. So I feel like what the moon is saying is that there may need to be some sacrifices made. So let's say that if we stick with that house analogy, or that house example, if you want to have this dream house of yours, then that also means that, at least I feel like for the majority of people, it also means that you're going to have to leave the home that you are in right now. You're going to have to move out of that home. You're going to have to like either sell it, or rent it out to someone, or at least again, for the majority of people, if you have enough money to buy as many houses as you want, that's a different thing. But I also feel like then most likely it wouldn't be talking about this sort of energy that we are talking about here. So yeah, I'm just gonna, for the sake of this reading and for the sake of this example, I'm just gonna generalize and say that, if you want to get a dream house and you want to live in your dream house, then you kind of have to give up on the place that you are in right now. So there is this element of like needing to give something up in order to get what it is that you really, really want. And again, it could be talking about a relationship. Maybe you are in a relationship right now that isn't necessarily emotionally fulfilling you, but you may not want to kind of let it go either, or that it could be a difficult thing to kind of release or walk away from. But that's kind of what is required if you know what it is that you actually want from a relationship, and your current relationship is not giving that to you, or you are not having that sort of connection with your current partner. Again, when it comes to a job, you're going to have to quit the job that you are doing right now if you want to pursue your dream career. And it's something completely different to what it is that you are doing now, right? So there is an element of sacrifice that the moon is urging you to consider here. But let's see what else. Oh, okay. So we also have the King of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Cups upright. So there's a lot of emotion coming through here. And sorry, it's bugging me that yeah, okay, it's good now. I kind of messed up the edge of the card here a bit, so but as I said, there is an emotional component here, and a very strong emotional component. And okay, and we have the Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck here as well. So it's kind of interesting that we're getting these counterparts coming out, because the King and the Queen of Cups, they go together. They are the counterparts in the cup suit. So I feel like what the moon is kind of saying here is that, especially if there's anything or anyone that isn't maybe again helpful or supportive in this goal of yours, or if there is something or someone that is kind of inhibiting your path, then I feel like it's like the moon is urging you to focus on the aspects and the connections and all of the positive things in your life that are actually bringing you that sort of support and an emotional like love and help and guidance and all of those like more positive, more supportive, more helpful energies. Because I definitely feel with this King of Cups in reverse here that there could be something that is like draining you emotionally, or that is draining you maybe in a more like tangible way as well. And I feel like the moon is saying that it's going to be very important for you to kind of follow the things that are like making you feel better, not worse. And I'm also kind of getting a bit of a justice energy vibe here as well, meaning that I feel like the moon is saying that it would be really good for you, or really beneficial for you to sort of put it into perspective for yourself, like the giving and receiving aspect of energies that you are involved in right now. So let's say if it is, let's say it is a relationship. So if in that current relationship of yours that you're not maybe necessarily the most happy in, or that you feel is not as supportive as you would like a relationship to be, then if there is an imbalance when it comes to the energy, like reciprocation or energy exchange, if you feel like you are giving more to the other person than they are giving back to you, then I feel like that's something that the moon really wants you to turn your focus on and see what are the aspects, even if it's like this relationship was just an example, okay? But whatever the situation is for you, whatever the dream is that you are wanting to achieve for yourself versus the situation that you are in right now, just putting attention or paying attention to what kind of situations in your life are sort of out of balance, where maybe you are putting in more than you are receiving or than you are getting back. Those will be a really good indication of what is worth releasing, or what is worth sacrificing here with this Ten of Swords. Seeing how much you put in versus how much you get back. And again, if there are severe imbalances there that are like draining you and not fulfilling you or giving you back in some way that would make you feel valued, that would make you feel appreciated, then that's something that the moon definitely wants you to pay a lot of attention to. But let's see, can we get some last, okay, no. Can we get some last messages for pile number one? What else do you want pile number one to know right now? Oh, we have the Six of Wands. Okay, I love that. So I feel like what the moon is saying here is that, oh, and we have the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom. So I feel like with the Six of Wands is that you can be really successful in this. You can actually achieve what it is that you want. Again, because I was seeing that with this card here as well, with the energies gaining momentum, that there is support around you, and especially like energetically speaking, I feel like there is a lot of support around you. But the moon is saying that you can be successful and you can rise to the challenge and you can get to where you want to go. But with this Knight of Pentacles, again, it is going to be a process, and it's one of those things where like determination will get you there, or like steady and like concentrated work and effort is going to get you to your results. So again, there is this element of like not needing to, or needing to not give up, and needing to like keep pushing forward and keep that sort of end goal at the forefront of things. Okay, can we get a couple of last messages please for pile number one? Can we get a few last messages for pile number one? What else do you want pile number one to know? Oh, thank you. Okay, I think that's actually done. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups at the bottom here. We also have we have Judgment, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so okay, actually, you know what? I think we could have one more card here. Let me try and get those to be somewhat straight. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles and we have Judgment. So yeah, I definitely feel like, especially with this Judgment, I feel like what the moon is saying is that there is almost going to be this like revelation or this like rebirth that is going to be happening internally for you, where you may start like getting a very clear indication of the sort of priorities that you have, because again, I feel like it's partly due to like these energetic shifts that are happening, that are taking place, and that are like super supportive, especially for you in this, that again I was talking about with this card here. But I feel like what the moon is saying is that you are going to be sort of getting like this wake-up call, or getting this like aha moment, and it's going to kind of take you into a place where I feel like your worth and your time and your resources, like you're going to start putting more value on them, or appreciating them more, and not taking them, or I should actually say, not letting other people take them for granted as much, I feel like. Yeah, so there's almost this like an upgrade that is happening when it comes to like your self-worth, or how you see yourself, and how you how much of yourself you are willing to give to others freely. So there is a bit of a shift in priorities that I feel like is going to be coming in. And as I said, can we get one last card? One last card for pile number 1, please. Okay, thank you. And the Ace of Cups is at the bottom of the deck in reverse. But this one is the 6 of Coins in reverse. Okay. So I almost feel like this is, yeah, this was kind of a, I don't know, like an add-on card, but that doesn't necessarily add anything new to the reading or to these messages. I just feel like it's kind of confirming the messages that I was just talking about last, which is that I definitely feel like there is going to be a change or a shift when it comes to your energy transactions or your energy exchanges with people, where again, this feels to me like you're not going to be as sort of generous, like it kind of sounds bad not being as generous, but it's just like you're not going to be giving your energy and your time and your resources away to other people, especially if they are kind of more so taking, like this King of Cups in reverse, like they are more so taking, but not really necessarily giving too much back. So I feel like this sort of like internal shift, or this like wake-up call that I feel is going to be happening is also going to be helping you to kind of take the necessary steps, and to really focus on the thing that you ultimately want to have, or that you want to reach, or that you want to get, and kind of eliminate or get rid of the distractions or the unsupportive elements here. Because I feel like with this this internal shift, like for some of you, I kind of feel like it's something that is going to be happening before you reach this this dream of yours, or like it's going to be part of helping you get there. But for others of you, I almost feel like, because again, it's going to depend on your dreams, right? How big the dream is, or how like how much change it requires, all those kinds of things. I feel like for others of you, that shift is going to happen after you get that goal of yours, or get that sort of achievement that you are after. It's almost like it's going to illuminate to you like how maybe before you weren't valuing yourself and your skills and your time and your energy and all of that as much as you maybe start doing as you get to your desired goal, or as you get to that dream that you are after. I feel like it's going to like almost force you to reevaluate some of your priorities, and especially when it comes to yourself and how you behave towards yourself, how you think about yourself, and how you again, like how you share yourself with others, or share what you have with others. So yeah, this actually feels like quite a transformative experience, and yeah, I just feel like the moon is kind of really urging you to get that confidence, to get that determination, and focus on the deepest, like most emotionally tied aspects of you that would like motivate you to get that dream, to get that goal, and to not kind of settle for less, or to just keep it as a dream, right? The moon is definitely urging you to go for it, because I feel like it's again, either it's going to happen before you actually get the dream, or it's going to happen after. But I feel like it's going to bring a sort of a new self-image with it, or a newfound appreciation towards yourself that is also going to then further elevate other areas of your life. So yeah, again, very transformative. But let's close the reading out with an oracle card. This is the L Key Oracle. And because it's a very, very feminine oracle deck, I felt like it was perfect for the reading about the moon and the moon's energy. So let's see, what does the moon want you to, what kind of advice does the moon have for you? Oh, I guess you're getting two. Oh my God, I love this. We have at the bottom of the deck, she who enfolds, swathe, embrace, self-care. That's kind of the thing that I was talking about last, right? About that like transformation when it comes to your sense of like self and all of that. Okay, we have she who doubts, fear, wariness, trust, and she who sees, observe, perceive, scrutinize. Okay. So I'm gonna read from the guidebook, because I don't know, I felt called to do that today for some reason. And just as a heads up, if I mispronounce any of these names, then I am sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna try and hold it up so you could see it. Hopefully it's going to... Yeah, okay. She who doubts. Enid, or Enid. She who doubts is learning how to let go of mistrust. She has scars, both visible and invisible, that have held her back from living fully. She carries an ornate emerald pendant which is said to promote the truth. It calms the wearer and restores self-esteem. Even though Enid is young, she knows that allowing doubt to hold her back will only harm herself. With the cautious eye of a wary doe, Enid ventures back out into the world. The message of this card is to examine your own doubts. We all have been injured by life in one way or another. If we continue to hide in the shadows, then we allow those who did us injustices to win. Now is the time to let go of old misgivings and learn to trust again. Weariness is not a bad thing unless you are using it to give yourself permission to hide from life. Put on a trusty talisman, slip your scarf from your ears so all your senses are engaged, and trust in your own unique power. And some questions that you can ponder or journal about. Who or what am I hiding from? How do my fears limit me? Where do I need to place my trust? Yes, so a very empowering reading, as I was saying, and I feel like this card kind of, again, encourages you and urges you even more to go after your dreams. So I really love that message for you. I feel like it's really, really apt. Okay, and we also have She Who Sees Makita. Okay, let me try and get that in. Okay. Makita, she who sees, views the world with a keen eye. She wears a gold mask which serves as her other eyes when necessary. There are moments when she will show her true self to the world. There are other times when the mask must be slipped down over her eyes. This protects her from the scrutiny of others while allowing her to inspect what is before her. Her duty is to observe rather than judge. She pays attention to patterns so she can report them as needed. Makita is the Tagalog word for see, so even her name reminds her of what she must do. The message of this card is to take time to scope things out. This is a moment where you need to get the lay of the land. You may need to distinguish between what is real and what wants to be real. Your inner landscape must be surveyed as well. What can you see when you wait? Take no action now other than examining all the players and all the facts. Once you understand the game plan of others, you can begin to determine what your next best step might be. And the questions are, what are the patterns I can see? When has quiet observation benefited me before? And how can I gain a new perspective now? So it's kind of funny that that's the energy, or that these are the messages that are coming through, because I feel like it's almost beautifully rounding us up back to the beginning of the reading, where I was saying how I feel like one of the first steps that would be really beneficial for you is to get rid of this like confusion and doubt, and get a very clear vision of like what is going on, and what you truly desire, and all of those things, like getting that clarity, as well as getting that sort of introspective analysis as well, where you kind of get a better understanding of like how balanced some of the energy transactions in your life are, right? That I was talking about with this King and Queen of Cups, where if something is kind of taking too much and not giving back enough, then that's definitely something to pay attention to. So I feel like it's just really, really perfect that those are the two messages that the moon is kind of deciding to close the reading out with. And yeah, so getting that clarity, and then focusing on this energy, focusing on this courage, and just going after what it is that you want with confidence and determination, that is going to be your key to success here. So, oh my goodness, what a reading, pile number one. I hope that it was useful. I hope that you could resonate with it if it was talking about you, or you could just kind of recognize some aspects of it. Definitely let me know by giving me a thumbs up. It would mean so much to me, just knowing that the reading resonated, and you know, it helps my channel out immensely. So if this reading at all spoke to you or moved you in a positive way, definitely don't forget to give me that thumbs up. And also, I would love it if you subscribe to my little feather tribe, so that we could hang out in the future, and you could, you know, we could see even more of these cool messages coming through for you. But if I don't see you in any of the other piles, then I am wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you guys very soon in one of my next readings. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys chose the Tarot of the Divine, which is over here, and it is waiting its turn nicely and neatly, because we're first going to be starting the reading off with some oracle cards to get a bit of a context regarding what the moon wants to talk to you about today. What is it more specifically that the messages that the moon will be sharing with you today are regarding? So the thing that I'm asking of you, pile number 2, is to please use your discernment as you're watching this reading, because it is still a general one. So only take the messages as they resonate, and if they don't, then that's fine too. You can go back to the pile selection part and choose another one. But if none of the piles resonate, then it could be that it's just not your message this time, and that's okay. Maybe next week will be different. Okay, but anyway, let's see, what does the moon want to talk to you about? Wow, we have hold your vision, fixed moon. We have surrender. We have creation. And we have believe in the impossible with the blue moon. Okay, pile number 2, I feel a very strong, very creative message coming through for you from the moon. I feel like you could be having some sort of a like a creative vision, or something that you are urging to make, or it's almost like I feel like you are at this time, like you are massively inspired by something. Now if that is not here just yet, then I definitely feel like it's coming very soon. I just get the sense that like there is this like massive inspiration that has struck you, or some sort of like creative idea that has almost like come out of the blue, or just like completely, it's just like almost emerged seemingly out of nowhere on its own accord. And you could be having trouble like trusting that vision, or trusting that creative urge that you are feeling. I do feel very strongly that it has something to do with either like your work or your career, or even maybe your studies, or it could be some sort of like project that you want to initiate, or that you really feel called to get started with somehow. But I just feel like there is so much doubt in you, or it's almost like maybe on a rational level, or maybe on a logical level, there could be so many questions, so many like unknowns, and so many pitfalls that you know, all of the different ways how things could go wrong, or how things could not work out possibly. And I feel like what the moon is saying here is that you really need to trust that sort of divine inspiration that you have been giving, because I do feel that it is divine. It is something that has been planted into your head for a very specific reason. And that reason is because you need to create something. Whether it's a piece of art, whether it's a piece of music, whether it's a book, whether it's a blog, whether it's I don't know, a podcast, whatever it is. I feel like any sort of like creative ideas that you have recently been struck with, where you feel like a super strong pull that you really want to do something, or you really want to try something out, or you really want to make something. For some of you, it's also like on a more tangible scale, like you may want to make something with your hands. For others of you, it's more like creative on a more like spiritual or mental level. Again, it's going to vary greatly, but it's some sort of creation. It's some sort of, and even if it's not artistic, I do want to put that out there as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be artistic. It could really be anything that you are super interested in, but I feel like it's something that has kind of suddenly and somewhat recently come to you that you really want to do, or that you really want to try out. And I feel like Spirit is urging you to, or the moon, I should say, is urging you to go after it and do it. to go after it and try it out, to surrender to that like deep and almost cosmic pull that you feel, or that somewhat like, I don't know, I'm getting the sense that for some of you that creative idea that you have is almost a bit like crazy or wacky or out of the ordinary, out of the norm, something that maybe a lot of people would deem as like impossible or unreachable or unattainable. It's it's one of those things, I feel like, for at least for some of you, maybe not for all of you, but at least for some of you, I feel like it's something more radical, something more out there that maybe a lot of people are not used to, or they cannot quite imagine. But especially with both of these cards, which are super, super, super powerful cards and very, very potent in their energy, the moon is definitely urging you to believe in that creative drive that you have, to believe in that idea, to believe in the sudden bursts of inspiration that are coming to you. And especially, I do want to say it, it's going to be super crucial to write some of those things down, because I'm looking at these scrolls here and it just hit me very strongly that you're going to need to put those things down in writing somewhere, or even if you don't necessarily like writing, you can just like record them, create voice memos for yourself, or do any of those things. But it's just going to be very important to actually record them somehow, so that there would be like physical sort of evidence or a physical storage place for those ideas, so that you wouldn't just like forget about them, or that they wouldn't pass you by. Because especially it could be like as you're going to bed, or as you are falling asleep, like right before you go to sleep, right? You could be getting these like sudden bursts of inspiration or sudden bursts of creativity, where like you get these like ideas regarding that goal, or that that inspiration, that bigger inspiration, or that bigger creative thing that you want to initiate or start. You could be getting these like sudden ideas about it, or like, I don't know. That's for some of you. That's most likely not for all of you, but I definitely feel that for some of you, you could be getting hit with these like sudden ideas regarding that creative impulse that you have, and that are happening like right before you go to bed, or right before you go to sleep. And so that you wouldn't forget about them, I feel like keeping a journal by your bed, or again, even just like being able to record them on your phone, or have some sort of, I don't know if people use dictaphones anymore, but just like having some place to record those insights or those sudden bursts of inspiration is going to be very, very important for you. But yeah, the moon is definitely urging you to believe and have faith in the inspirations that you're given, or in this creative urge that you have, because it's not for nothing that you are having it. It's so that you could actually create it and kind of make it into being. But let's see, now that we know what the moon wants to talk to you about more specifically, let's see what other messages the moon has for you. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay. We are starting off with strength in reverse. Yeah, I definitely do feel like what the moon is saying here is that it's kind of urging you to, or encouraging you, I should say, to kind of not let yourself get kind of pushed off your feet, or not let your fears get the best of you. And again, those fears could be coming from your own mind and from like internally, but I feel like there could potentially also be a lot of like naysayers around you, or people who are maybe having a hard time believing in your vision, or in that creative insight or inspiration that you have. So I almost want to say that it's probably going to be better for you to not share it very broadly with a lot of people right now. Just because I feel like it's going to be like dissuading you or having a more negative impact on you, because it's potentially something that I feel like you are struggling with anyway, or that you're kind of doubtful about anyway. And having more of that like negative influence or negative input, or pessimistic, I should say, pessimistic input or skeptical input from other people, it's just going to make things like worse, and it's going to make it even harder for you to keep holding on to that vision. So yeah, that's definitely something that the moon wants you to know, that there is going to be possibly backlash from other people who are not going to share that vision, or who are not going to be understanding it, who are not going to be getting it, and who are not going to possibly be believing in it. So you're going to have to be like extra strong to not let yourself get pushed off balance by those people. And again, that's why I'm kind of saying that it's probably going to be a lot easier for you if you don't share that vision or share that idea with a lot of people, like especially at the beginning stages. But it's probably better if you keep it kind of to a very close circle that you truly trust, and that have your back no matter what. Like those kinds of people, it's okay to tell that creative vision to, but others, I would just kind of keep it on the low right now. Let's see what else. Dear Moon, what else do you want pile 2 to know? What else do you want pile 2 to know? What other messages do you have for pile 2 regarding their creative, inspirational idea? Oh, we have the Ace of Cups. Yes, 2 things. First of all, definitely trust your heart. Definitely trust what you're feeling. But another thing, I feel like you are just, like, your creativity is off the charts right now. I feel like your creativity is almost like pouring out of you, is kind of what I want to say. And we have the World at the bottom as well. So again, like trusting your heart, trusting that inspiration that you're getting is going to be taking you to where you need to go. It's going to be taking you to that like successful end or finish line that with the World here. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel with the Ace of Cups. Beautiful energy, absolutely beautiful energy. And again, because it's the Ace of Cups, like specifically the Ace, I feel a very strong like self energy with the Ace a lot of the times. And I do feel like with this, the Moon is saying that you are going to have to believe in what it is that you are receiving from your intuition, from your emotions, from that like inner landscape of yours, because that's what the Moon is all about, right? Our emotions and our intuition and our insights, and that divine aspect within us, that feminine aspect within us. And yeah, the Moon is just saying to trust it, to really like delve deep into it and see where it takes you. Okay, what else? What else? Thank you. Wow, the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I do feel like your dreams are going to be very significant as well, especially during this time right now. So definitely pay attention to your dreams. Again, keeping a dream journal or just like keeping track of your dreams, again, in whatever way is more comfortable for you, is going to be really helpful to you. Because I feel like it's almost like you're going to be guided through your dreams, or you're going to be getting some sort of very meaningful symbolism through your dreams. But I also feel with the Seven of Cups that it's almost tying me back to this believe in the impossible card, that whatever this is that you are wanting to or feeling the urge to create, I feel like the Moon is saying that like you can have it as like fantastical or like as maybe again as out of the normal, as wacky as it may seem right now, there's an element of like needing to believe in its like authenticity or in the magic of it. Okay, what else? What else? Thank you. Wow, we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, so this is that determined energy, where I feel like the moon is saying here that like having that faith, having that like belief in yourself, and almost like pushing through no matter what, because the Knight of Swords is like super determined, super brave as well. And again, because we already got like the Strength card was the first card out, so I do get the sense that whatever this creation is, it is going to require courage on your part. It's going to require courage, and it's going to require you to kind of maybe put yourself out there in a more noticeable way. And it's a scary thing when you know that you're kind of stepping out of the norms or out of what people are used to, and putting yourself in a vulnerable position like that, especially if it's something that is like a product or again a piece of art or something that is like, you know, really, really vulnerable, or something that comes from a very deep place of you, like of yours. It kind of makes you more fragile, I suppose, in a way, and more susceptible to the feedback and the reaction that you're going to get. But I do feel like with this Knight of Swords, the moon is really urging you to focus on like just not losing sight of what that vision is for you, or just like keeping that focus super, super strong, and keeping like the momentum going, and keeping like forcing yourself or pushing yourself towards getting it like actually expressed, or making it, creating it. Yeah. Let's see what else. And again, with the Knight of Swords, it could also be that like there could potentially be like again, people who are maybe not going to understand it, or who may be more like forceful in their opinions and in the way that they express themselves, that could really like kind of get under your skin, is what I want to say. But I feel like that's why there's like this Ace of Cups and the Seven of Cups and the Strength card are here. So like super, super important, because as long as you know what you are doing, and as long as you believe in it, it doesn't really matter if there are like some people who are just like not getting it, because that's with any kind of creation, really. Like you are never going to get a unanimous fan base, and you're never going to get a reaction that everyone is absolutely in love with it. There are always going to be people who are going to be finding faults in it, who are going to be trying to undermine what it is that you have done. There are going to be people who are going to like try and like belittle you, or you know, put you down just because they are coming from a more like jealous or unsatisfied or like unhappy place themselves. And so yeah, I feel like it's just one of those things that if you're kind of like prepared for it, if you're ready for it, and if you are if you yourself have a firm belief in what it is that you're doing, then none of those things can really get to you. And that's why it's so important to get yourself to that place where you really trust what it is that you are doing. It's going to be really important. Okay, let's see what else. What else do you want pile 2 to know? Oh, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse, with the Queen of Wands at the bottom. So I feel like with the 6 of Wands in reverse, it's kind of tying me back to that last point, but I feel like what the moon is saying here is that there could be like an initial, how should I say, like lag, or where people may not necessarily like jump on the bandwagon and just be like super thrilled about this creation. It may take them some time to kind of like see what your creation is actually about and see the true value in it. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is that you are going to be creating, or that you are at least getting this strong urge to create. But I feel like it's one of those things where like it's going to be really important, like on a bigger scale for the collective, but it may just not like get the sort of recognition and credit that it deserves from the get-go, because it could be a bit too, again, as I said, too like radical or too different to what people are used to. And so it could, like, as I said, it could not get as much credit and praise as it maybe deserves. But I feel like it's not that the praise is not coming. I just feel like it's going to be delayed, or it's something that like the essence of it is going to be discovered a bit later on, or the people are going to understand what it's all about a bit later. Okay, let's see what else. But I feel like it's super important, like honestly, and I know it's kind of a shitty place to be in, that like you are going to be the one that has to do that. Oh my god, look at that, we still got the Queen of Wands. But yeah, with the but like I definitely feel like it's something that is going to be really important, or it's going to have a bigger effect like down the line. But it's just not going to be like this massive, big, explosive thing right away, especially with the Ace of Wands in reverse here. But again, with this Queen of Wands, because we still got it, it was on the back of on the bottom of the deck at first with the Six of Wands in reverse. So I feel like with this Queen of Wands, like it is going to be, or the specialty of it, or I should say the special quality of it, or the uniqueness or the beauty or the value in it is going to be seen. It's just not going to be seen straight away. And so again, with this Ace of Wands in reverse, it's not going to be like this massively like explosive thing. It's going to be like, I feel like it's going to be like this gradual thing where people will start like appreciating it in time. Yeah, what else? What else? Okay, one more thing, sorry. With this Ace of Wands in reverse specifically, and actually with the Knight of Swords as well, I feel like what the moon is like emphasizing here is that it's going to be really important for you to, again, not just like to not just sit with that creation or that creative input and like not do anything about it. I feel like there is going to be action that you're going to have to take with it. So even though you have this idea, and even though you may be like having these doubts, I feel like the moon is urging you to kind of work through those doubts and work through those fears or insecurities, and realize that you're having that sort of like creative inspiration for a reason. It's coming to you for a reason, and you're meant to do something with it. You're not just meant to like sit with it and just let it be, because it wants to be, as I said, it wants to be brought to life. It wants to be brought into the material, into the physical somehow. And so there is definitely action that is going to be needed on your part. Yeah, it's going to be important for you to actually take action with this idea. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple of last messages, please. Oh, yeah, wow. We have the King of Swords in reverse here. And the Eight of Coins in reverse. With the King of Swords in reverse here, I almost feel like the moon is urging you to like kind of get out of your head, because you may be like, I almost feel like you may be trying to make sense of it too much, or you may be trying to rationalize it too much, this creative idea that you're having. And again, I feel like there's a lot of these like fears and doubts that are going to be stopping you from actually doing something with this creation. So if you allow that kind of mental aspect of, again, like what could go wrong, or how this thing could possibly not work, or like what are the people going to say, and all of those things, I feel like if you allow your mind to drag you into that place, then it's going to be really difficult for you to kind of come out of it and to actually make something of this idea, of this inspiration, and to actually create what needs to be created. So I feel like just paying attention to your mind, and as much as possible trying to get out of your mind and more into the emotional space here. Again, I feel like that's truly what is moving you here. That's going to be really important, like really, and again, really, really helpful for you to kind of get the ball rolling in the first place. Okay, and let's see if we can get a couple of last cards. Could we get a couple of last messages for pile number 2, please? Just a couple of last messages. Oh, we have the Emperor. Yeah, so with the Emperor, I kind of just feel like what the moon is really emphasizing here again is that you're kind of going to have to be your own biggest support system in this. And it's not to say that there can't be other people around you, like as I was saying, before, with like the closest circle, the people that you truly trust and that, are like your true friends and your true supporters. I feel like they can still be there and they can still support you, but I almost get the sense that it's something that like only you can really support yourself in fully, because it's almost going to be, I don't know, I get the sense that it's almost going to be impossible for you to explain what this creation is to others. And so like it's something that like even the closest people around you who want to support you and who always like believe in you and that kind of thing, like I feel like without being able to actually show them this creation as it has been like created, it's going to be super difficult for them to understand what it is, like specifically. So it's almost like this, I almost want to say like in this, I feel like you're kind of an island. That's the energy that I feel like. You're kind of an island in this. And so it's one of those things where it's really going to like push you to start having even more faith and even more belief in yourself. But it's not going to be an easy thing, but it's going to be a super like rewarding thing, a super rewarding experience. As I said, first of all, it's something that is going to, that creation is going to be like something that is necessary on a bigger scale anyway. But I feel like with this Emperor here, that it's something that the whole process as you are going through this is going to build something up within you as well. Or it's going to almost like add this armor, add this like tougher exterior or tougher energy to you, where you will be more like self-reliant in the future as well. Or you will have an easier time doing something just relying on yourself and knowing that what you're doing is the right thing, and just like keeping that belief in yourself going, even if other people are maybe like not that supportive or not that encouraging around you. So that's kind of what I feel like is that the moon is saying that this is going to bring about. So again, it may feel like you're kind of alone in this, or you're like you're doing this by yourself and you don't have that much support or help around you. But the whole process is actually going to teach you to like start trusting in yourself more. So it's actually a beautiful experience, even though it's somewhat like maybe challenging or somewhat trying to go through at times. Okay, can we get one last message? Oh, thank you. Oh, how beautiful. And we are ending with the moon itself. And the bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. So yeah, with the moon, yeah, I just feel like it's almost like this. It's almost like the moon is urging you to like go into the darkness, to go into the unknown, and trust that you will be like shown the way, or trust that you will find your way on the other side and you will come out on the other side, and that it will all work out for the best. Is kind of what I want to say here, because with the moon coming out specifically, I do definitely feel like the moon is massively supporting this. And I'm not surprised, because as I was saying, this feels like a very creative, a very inspired thing to me. And the moon is all about that. The moon is all about our like emotional, that emotional flow that moves us to express ourselves somehow. And it is very artistic. It is very, again, very creative in nature. And so it kind of makes sense that that would be the last card. And again, the moon is not an easy energy necessarily. It is an energy where you kind of have to rely on your senses, because there's not that much that you can do with your eyes. There's not that much that you can kind of decipher and make sense of in the darkness. So you're going to have to rely on your other senses. But again, I do feel like it's saying that you are actually guided. You are actually like shown the way in more like subtle terms. Hence why this connection to like what you're feeling is so important. And through this experience, you are actually building up something and creating yourself much more resilient, much more strong. So it's actually a beautiful experience for you. Plus, as I said, it's kind of like a win-win, where you are creating something that actually is really beneficial for other people as well, even though they may not see it and understand it straight away, but it is. So those are the messages from the moon, but we're going to close the reading out with the Elki Oracle deck. And this is a super feminine oracle deck, so it's perfect. It kind of perfectly goes together with the goddess energy of the moon. So let's see what the moon wants to tell you as a one last piece of guidance or advice. What sort of guidance or advice do you have for pile number 2 regarding their spread? What sort of guidance or advice do you have for pile number 2 regarding their spread? Oh, we have something. She who resists, fearless, justified, resistant. Wow. Okay, let's see. Did something else turn over? No. Okay, and at the bottom, she who loved once. Fragile, secret love, rejection. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow, for some of you, it could actually be that the creative urge that you're having, or this creation, it may be inspired by some sort of like heartbreak or some sort of emotional pain that you have endured. But yeah, I mean, even if it's not, then, you know, just don't pay attention to that. It's not going to be a message for all of you anyway. So, okay, I'm also going to be reading from the book here because it's a really great guidebook, and so we will see what the moon wants you to know more specifically. Okay, I'm just gonna, hopefully you'll see it okay, and I'm just gonna start reading because otherwise we'll be here. Anyway, she who resists. Oh, Daz. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrong, by the way. Some of these names are really tricky and I'm not sure how to pronounce them, so yeah. Oh, Daz, she who resists, grips a bloody knife in her hand. She looks back to see who follows. Her determination is echoed in the golden bee exploring the rose in her hair. Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, there's a bee in the rose here. Okay, I'm gonna try and hold it like this. She will continue to do what she must do. She holds no love for violence, but neither will she allow fear to rule her. Oh my God, this is so perfect. When the call comes to fight for her rights, she will always answer. Her fierce resistance comes from a lifetime of being told what she cannot do. Ordaz embraces her own voice, her own power, her own infinite right to be herself. Ordaz's message is to fight for yourself. Resist those who would change who you are. Stand against injustice in your world. It is best to choose the path of non-violence, yet at times you may have to use justified anger as impetus to move yourself forward. This moment calls for you to draw on your own inner strength. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read this again because that's what this book actually says. This moment calls for you to draw on your own inner strength. The Emperor, right? That's what this whole reading has been about. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry, I lost the focus. I lost it. Come back. Please come back. Anyway. Examine how you may be allowing things to happen simply by refusing to resist. This is not a time to allow others to walk over you. Okay, and some of the questions that you may want to ponder or journal about or meditate on. Am I allowing my power to be blocked? Is my anger justified? Are there peaceful ways to resist? Okay, so that's kind of the last message here, and I do feel like it's I love that it's the message, the ultimate encouragement from the moon to stick to your guns, to again have faith in what it is that you're feeling, have faith in what it is that you are being shown, what it is that you are being guided towards, even if, as I said, even if there are people who are not understanding it, even if there are people who are maybe even actively opposing it or trying to kind of again put you down in some way, or like shit all over you, shit all over your creativity, all of those things. It's going to be really important for you to not let people like dictate what it is that you feel like you need to create, right? Like staying true to that. And so I really love that encouragement was coming through for you to close out this reading. It was kind of like the perfect note to end this reading on. So yeah, oh my goodness, this was such an exciting reading, pile number 2. I am keeping my fingers and toes crossed for you, and hoping that you will somehow be able to come through the doubt and push through everything to create whatever this is, whatever this beautiful thing is that you are meant to create. So yeah, I'm definitely rooting for you. But super, super exciting. I would love it if you let me know how this resonated. The smallest way, the easiest way that you can do that is by giving me a thumbs up, and that will let me know that this reading actually helped you, and it will also help my channel grow. So I would really, really appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and join my Feather Tribe so that we could hang out in the future too. If you want to see more of me and more of these readings, then definitely don't forget to subscribe. But yeah, if I don't see you in any of the other piles, then please take care of yourselves, pile number 2. I am wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you very soon in my next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. You guys chose the Moonchild Tarot, which is right over here. waiting for us to dive into them. But we are going to be doing that a bit later, because first we're going to dive into these oracle cards here, which are also very much moon themed. And these oracle cards will be showing us what is the context of the moon's messages that the moon will be sharing with you today. So what is it more specifically that the moon wants to talk to you about? And the thing that I'm asking of you, pile number 3, is that you use your discernment as always and only take the messages that truly resonate with you and leave everything else. But okay, let's see what the moon wants to talk to you about. Wow, we're starting off with it's time to take action, new moon in Aries. We also have thunder moon, change. We have egg moon, trust. And we have void of course moon, nothing will come of this situation. Okay, pile number 3. So the thing that I feel that the moon wants to address with you today is some sort of a shift that you may be called to make, but that you may also be somewhat doubting or fearful of making. It's almost like the universe is pushing you to do something, to start something new, or to break out of some sort of a mold or some sort of a pattern or some sort of habit that you've had that is maybe not really helpful or beneficial to you anymore. And so there is all of this energy that is, I feel like you feel it both on the inside, but I also feel like there is a lot that is like happening outside of you that is almost forcing you to put yourself in a new environment or in a new situation. And I feel like there is so much like fear inside of you where you may be kind of almost overthinking everything and focusing on all of these like horror stories or all of these like worrisome, anxious mental images of the unknown and of everything that is like waiting for you on the other side of whatever this threshold is that you will be stepping into, or that the universe is urging you to step through. The first thing I want to say is that I feel like you can take a nice deep breath and calm yourself down and know that like all of these worst case scenarios that you are thinking of or worried about are most likely not going to happen. Like I almost want to say like 99.999%, like the worst case scenarios that you're worried about are not going to happen, especially with this nothing will come of this situation. It's like the moon is saying that you may be like trying to hold on to a certain level of control too hard, and with the universe like forcing you in a different way, you could be taking that as like an alarm, or it could be triggering something in you. But I do feel that the moon is urging you to have trust, to have faith in this situation, to believe that the universe is a benevolent force and that like things are ultimately going to be working out for the best. And so I feel like the moon is urging you to kind of get through or push through that stubbornness that you may be feeling right now, where you may be trying to like dig your heels into where you are right now, or what you know right now, or what you feel that you have control over, and have this element of like surrender, or have this element of just sort of like giving in to the energies and flowing with them more easily, not putting up that much resistance. Because I do feel like a lot of resistance, and especially I'm even looking at this card, and first of all you can kind of see it already from the design of this card, like how powerful and how electric it is. But you can also see how this woman on the card here is like, she's actually physically pushing against, I don't know what this is. It could be like an egg or something. I'm not sure. But she's actively pushing against it with her hands and her feet. And And that's kind of the energy that I feel like you are in right now as well, that you're pushing against something. And most likely I feel that that something is like new energy, new experiences, new people, new circumstances. All of this like energy that forces you to change, that forces you to step out of your comfort zone and explore and try something new. And it's, again, it's so understandable. There is no like judgment or criticism or anything like that here. It just feels like it's time, because with this card as well, I almost get this sense that like whatever this is that the universe is urging you to leave behind or shift or move away from is something that has done its time, something that has lived its life, and like it doesn't have anything else to give you anymore. And again, it could be so many different things, so you'll have to see how this resonates for yourself, whether it's talking about like a work situation, whether it's talking about like moving out of your home to like study in a different country or in a different city, whether it's talking about like some sort of friend group or some sort of neighborhood that you may be trying to hold on to, even though maybe you are being pushed to like change those or relocate or explore and meet new people, network, all of those things. It could really be so many different things. So as I said, you're kind of going to have to see how that resonates for yourself and what it is that you feel like you are being like, what is this new direction that you are being pushed in? But whatever it is, the moon is urging you to have faith in this and to kind of start moving with it, start moving with the energy instead of like pushing against it or resisting it. Because yeah, it's ultimately going to be for the betterment of you and for the benefit of you. So let's see what the actual messages from the moon are. So now that we kind of see the context of what the moon wants to talk to you about today, so let's see. Dear Moon, could you please show us what is it that you want to talk to pile 3 about today? What is it that they should know? What do you want pile 3 to know? Oh, yeah, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now the Knight of Pentacles is an interesting energy here because, oh, and we have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom. The Knight of Pentacles is an interesting energy because all of the knights symbolize movement, but the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all the knights because it's the earth element, and earth moves the slowest. It's almost immovable. So with this Knight of Pentacles, I feel like what the moon is saying here is that you don't have to make like radical changes. You can also just start taking little steps, taking small steps in a direction that you feel called to move in. But I feel like as long as you're taking action, as long as you are moving, it's good. Like you're solid. So yeah, even if it's like, it doesn't have to be fast movement. It doesn't have to be like this big, massive overnight changes that you're making, but just putting one foot in front of the other, in a metaphorical sense, even if it's like, again, tiny little things that you're doing, that's going to be, it's still going to be something. So that's what the moon is recommending here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We also have the 5 of Swords in reverse and the Empress. Okay. So yeah, with the 5 of Swords in reverse, I feel like, oh, and we also have the 5 of Cups at the bottom. Yeah, so there is definitely a strong component of like wanting to stay where you are And it's funny that over here we actually have this like threshold or portal that is depicted on this design, or on the design of this card. Because I do feel like even though where you are right now, like it could not, you may actually feel that it's not making you the most happy anymore, that it's not really fulfilling you in like meaningful ways anymore. But it's almost like because it's something that you are familiar with, it's something that you are comfortable in, you still don't want to like walk away from it, or you still don't want to let it go. So it's like I can understand how it's like emotionally probably something that is very, very difficult for you. Because it's the 5 of Cups, so it does tell me that it's an emotionally challenging thing. But I'm also looking at this 5 of Swords over here, and it does tell me that you could be like making it a bigger deal or a bigger problem than it actually is in your mind. Because the 5 of Swords is a very like confrontational and a very like rugged energy. It's very raw, it's very conflicting, it's very aggressive, and because it's coming out in reverse, I feel like things are not actually as bad as you may be fearing that they are. Again, coming back to this card over here that I was talking about initially, where I feel like the worst case scenarios that you're playing in your head, it's like they are not really that bad. They are not like, things are not actually that drastic, and things are not actually that that bad. So I feel like the moon is just urging you to kind of watch that mental conversation, or that like inner dialogue that you have with yourself, and yeah, just try and maybe be more gentle as well with this Empress card here, because I do feel like, oh, and I almost feel like it's something that may really help you is actually like mothering yourself, which may sound a bit strange, but I'm kind of feeling that energy here with the Empress, where I feel like the moon is saying that it's almost like you are going to have to be your own parent and subdue these inner tensions, these inner worries and anxieties that could be like coming up within you because of these changes. And again, it's understandable. We all get that anxiety. At least for the most part, every person experiences that sense of like anxiety or a little bit of fear, because, you know, we're having to face something that we haven't faced before. So change is always scary, at least for most people. So it's normal that you have that sort of reaction, but I feel like the moon is saying that it's like you may kind of have to act as a parent to your own inner child, or like calming yourself down and assuring yourself that everything is going to be fine, and that you are safe, and that no matter what happens, you are going to be able to come out of that situation. You are going to be able to find a solution and solve whatever it is. Almost like with this card over here as well, that you are able to keep yourself safe. And for some reason, I feel it very strongly that that's something that you are going to have to like reassure to yourself or affirm to yourself. Even though I feel like the universe is actually keeping you safe too. Because otherwise the moon wouldn't be talking about the necessity of you to just have faith and to believe and to trust in this process that is happening. But yeah, I feel like self-assurance is something that is going to be really important, and just again being very gentle with yourself and trying to like kind of calm yourself down, be that loving parent to yourself. Okay, what else? Wow, okay, we have the 8 of Swords. Yes, so again, I do feel like your mind is probably your worst enemy right now with this 8 of Swords. Yeah, and the Sun in reverse. I feel like your mind is your worst enemy right now, and so again, be mindful of the thoughts that are popping into your head and how much power and how much weight you give to them. Okay, but I also feel like with this 8 of Swords, because the 8 of Swords is always a non-moving energy. The 8 of Swords is always like feeling or being stuck, and not maybe seeing a way out. But I feel like this stuck energy, especially when it's accompanied by the sun in reverse, it again tells me that this, like, it's whatever the situation is where you are in right now, that the universe is like pushing you out of, it's definitely more so keeping you stuck in something, or like restricting you from finding this joy, from having that sense of fulfillment and freedom. And so that's why the push is so strong. That's why the energy that you may be feeling internally, but also outside of you, that's why it's so prominent, is because you are being led, or you're being guided to something where you can actually have much more fulfillment, much more freedom, much more joy, much more happiness. Because again, whatever this is, I feel like it's just kind of done its time, and that's a very strong confirmation here with the Eight of Swords. Okay, so let's see. What else do you want pile 3 to know at this time? What else do you want pile 3 to know? Whoa. Okay. We have the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, I love this. Okay. So, okay, so let's start with the 10 of Wands here. I feel like with the 10 of Wands, what the moon is saying here is that I feel like it's almost preparing you that it is going to push you. It is going to, like, this change is not going to be like an easy thing. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck we have Strength. So it's definitely going to require some sort of like inner resilience on your part. It is going to test you, because the 10 of Wands is not like a walk in the park. It's not something effortless. It's not something willy-nilly that just happens. It's something that you're going to have to like push through, go through. It's something where you are like, it may test you, it may be challenging, but in the end, like, the ultimate reward is going to be super, super worth it. Because especially we have the 10 of Pentacles here, which is like everything that one could possibly want. The 10 of Pentacles is the ultimate like end all be all. That is the dream. That is the dream that all of us are kind of aspiring towards, or aspiring to. So I feel like what the moon is saying here is that this process, this change, is going to be something that really requires you to have this strength, this inner strength, this inner like power, to kind of rely on, that would keep you going, and where you may have to rely on some like specific skills or abilities to get yourself through some maybe more challenging situations. But again, I feel like ultimately it's going to lead you to a really, really rewarding place. And it's going to make you so much more strong, and so much more like it's almost like you're going to be building up some sort of strength in you that will allow you to like put up with a lot more in the future, where like challenges and like some sort of similar obstacles are not going to phase you as much anymore. So this is a really yeah, it's definitely a very like building up energy that I'm feeling here. But okay. Oh, and we have exactly 2. Wow. Okay, I love that. I love when that happens. And we have Justice at the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. So we have Death in reverse, and we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. So yeah, it's kind of like telling me that, again, like with like resisting this change, it's almost like you are doing yourself a disservice, even though you are maybe satisfying a more short-term like what's the word? More like, even though you may be getting a more like short-term gain by like wanting to stick with your comfort or with the way that things have been, it's something that is actually like not in alignment with what your heart is truly after, and what you're truly, again, what would truly fulfill you, what would truly like satisfy you. Because whenever the death card comes out in reverse, it's that trying to fight against movement, or trying to fight against change, because change is a natural part of life, as is death, right? So before something can come to life, before something can be born, something else has to die. Like we see with the Justice card here as well. It's all happening in balance. There is a natural law, there is a natural order to things. Like we all know, right? It's something we all know, it's not anything new. But with the Death card in reverse, it's definitely an energy of resisting that change, resisting that part where we have to let go of something. And again, what I feel like the moon is saying here is that by resisting, you are actually like making yourself even more unhappy, or it's like, it's not helpful to you and to the situation in general. So I feel like focusing on this like rebirth aspect, because there is going to be a rebirth, even if you have to let some things go. Again, having this trust that there are going to be things that will be like taking their place, so that will be that you will be gaining, that may actually be a lot better and a lot more fulfilling for you. Like just having that faith that is going to happen is going to be really important here. And with the Ace of Cups in reverse, I just feel like I kind of feel like two things. First of all, I feel like it's again the element of like needing to trust yourself more, because there could be a lack of that, like a lack of faith within yourself, and a lack of faith in your abilities and your abilities to come through some sort of difficult situations or some more challenging situations. So I definitely feel like going through this experience is going to teach you about that, or you're going to be learning more of that, like self-trust and self-belief. But I also feel like something that may be missing, or something that whether you are like consciously aware of it or not, or whether it's something that you're consciously admitting to yourself or not, there is something missing, and something very, very like significant, because it's the Ace of Cups. It's what fills us up. It's what gives us that like almost a sense of purpose, that sense of meaning. And because it's coming out in reverse, it could be that sort of very like deep aspect is missing for you right now. But through that like experience of leaving this sort of comfort zone and going with the flow of these changes, it's actually going to be giving you that. It's going to be balancing out and giving you what it is that you need, right? So I really love those messages for you, pile number 3. I really, really do. But let's see what we can get from the Oracle before we close this reading out. This is the L Key Oracle, which is all about feminine energy, and it is so beautifully coinciding with the moon, which is all about the goddess. So let's see what last message the moon has for you, or what kind of piece of advice does the moon have for you. So what kind of advice do you have for pile number 3 regarding this spread? Okay. Okay. We have She Who Hesitates, Ponder, Delay, Confidence. We are going to be reading about that in a second. And then, oh my God, at the bottom we have She Who Flies, Dare, Do, Reach. I love this for you. I'm actually going to read this one as well, even though it's just the underlying energy here, but And I didn't do it for any of the other piles. I didn't focus on the underlying energy as much, but you know what? Let's just do it like this. But I'm going to be doing it for you because I feel like it is truly apt, and I feel like it's almost mirroring or reflecting what is the kind of the aftermath of this experience for you. Right, so let's start with the she who hesitates, ponder, delay, confidence. I'm going to try and hold the card up to you so that you could see it, but let me find it first. I love this guidebook, by the way. It's so beautifully written, and I was really called to read from the guidebook for you guys today, so that's why I'm using the guidebook. Okay. Yeah, okay. She who hesitates, ponder, delay, confidence. Mora, she who hesitates, turns back from the open doorway. Even though she can see the sun streaming through, she is not sure it illuminates her own gifts. The violin hidden in the shadows demonstrates how hesitant Mora is, in spite of her talent. She is the young person poised on the edge of her next big step. She delays taking forward motion because of fear and uncertainty. It is fear of the unknown that so often holds us back. What would you say to Mora, whose name means hesitate, to encourage her to follow the bright light? The lesson of this card is that hesitation holds you back. Look closely at your own shadows to see what fears are standing in your way. Acknowledge these fears and then set them aside. It is now time to summon the courage and confidence to act. Trust in your talent. Step into the spotlight. And then there are also 3 of these questions that you can either meditate on, journal about, or just think about. Why am I hesitating? What is holding me back from making the most of my talents? How can I learn to better trust in my own strengths? I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I love it when readings come together in like full circle this way, because we had trust with this card over here, right? We had trust, and then we also had time to take action, right? And this card was literally talking about acting. So I just love it when that happens. So this was like one of the most apt cards here. Sorry, I've been talking for way too long already. Okay. So yeah, don't mind my voice. It keeps going away at times. But yeah, so it's so incredibly apt, this card. And I love that this message came through to encourage you, because again, it just feels like it's basically reflecting the entire spread, the entire reading, and just beautifully underlines that. So again, there's further encouragement from the moon to push through those fears and to keep going, even if the unknown is scary, even if you can't see everything, right? It's still urging you to kind of go and to take that action, even if you are maybe doubtful a bit, and to trust yourself. So I really love that message. But we also had Valeris as the underlying energy, which, as I said, feels to me like the aftermath of this experience. So Valeris, she who flies, locks eyes with you, and you know they are the windows to your soul. What do your eyes tell you when you peer into a mirror? A lovely wild woman holds you in her gaze, challenging you to ponder what your own animal self might answer. She is the feminine spirit of Icarus, who dared to fly so close to the sun. The bird skull represents the thought of going too high. It serves as a reminder of what can happen, but the feathers point out the wild soul's call to fly. The message of this card is don't hide from your dreams, seeker. Do give in to crazy flights of fancy. Spread your wings as wide as you dare, but also listen to the advice of those who may have also dreamed, also flown, and survived the fall. Remember, many great things have come about because of those who dreamed but failed. Your failures propel you forward toward your successes. Now launch yourself, dreamer. Spread your big, wonderful heart so your soul can take flight. Don't fear the fall, embrace the flight. And the questions are, what is my loftiest dream? What is the worst thing that could happen if I went after my dream? What is the best thing that could happen if I went after my dream? So as I was saying before, I do feel like there is an element of like being afraid because of like what might happen. But and as I said as well with the 10 of Wands, right? We were talking about it at one point where this path is not going to be easy sailing. There is going to be aspects and points that are going to be testing you, that are going to be like pushing you to push yourself. But ultimately, as I said, I feel like it's going to be a really rewarding experience for you. So I feel like what this card is saying is that like you are going to be able to reach some amazing new heights, but you're going to have to believe that you can reach them first. And like focus on this like movement, even if it's, as I said, little steps at a time, but just focus on like going after what it is that you feel maybe missing or where you're being pushed towards, and just keeping your eye on the prize in that sense. So yeah, if you're keeping it at the forefront of like what you could get or what the rewards would be if you actually like flowed with this energy, versus like what you're doing if you're just staying where you are, and like just putting that kind of on a set of scales for yourself as well, like which is more important to you, getting what it is that you want or having that safety of knowing where you have always been, right? I hope that made sense, because it kind of came out a bit weird right now, but hopefully you got the point. So yeah, wow. I mean, this was such a cool reading, pile number 3. I do realize that it may be somewhat tricky, somewhat challenging for you right now. But again, I'm seeing this as like the moon having your back and the universe fully supporting you and trying to push you in a very cool direction that will most likely open up a lot of doors for you and bring in a lot of really cool opportunities and experiences. So again, just embracing them, I feel like it's going to be so incredibly wonderful for you. But thank you, pile number 3, for watching this reading. I would love it if you let me know how this resonated. If you give me a thumbs up, it's the easiest way for you to show support to my channel and help me grow and reach even more people. So I would really appreciate it. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please don't forget to subscribe, and that way we can hang out in the future too and do even more of these cool readings. But if I don't see you in any of the other piles, I am wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you guys very soon in my next reading. Take care. Bye-bye.